Panic at the Duplex. Yo, what's going on? It's someone that's no one here, and welcome back to today's report. Today's report is coming from Eusebius, which he notes this is the name he's given himself for his drunk R reckless alter ego. When this happened, July 2017, the drug used was Salvia Divinorum extract at a dose of roughly 200 milligrams of 20x salvia extract. The route of administration was smoked. Gender, male. Weight, 160 pounds. Age, 25. Height, 5'6". Prior experience, he notes a regular marijuana smoker, alcohol, tobacco, cigarettes and cigars, beta blockers, SSRIs, Zoloft, and one experience with magic mushrooms. And the setting was alone with his friend E in her duplex. So here we are finally with another Salvia report. I know there's been a good amount of people requesting this, which in this report, I wouldn't say it's lacking in representing what Salvia can do. So there will be more reports of Salvia on the way soon. I think you guys are going to like this one, and without further ado, let's dive right into it. This is going to be an attempt of mine to put something to rest that has not given me rest since its occurrence 2 summers ago in 2017 when I was 25 years old. The experience of smoking Salvia Divinorum has left me traumatized. What inspired me to write this account happened 2 days ago. I smoked some marijuana after not having used for 2 weeks. The effects were considerably stronger. What began as the usual euphoric, slipping into a hot bath feeling and body warmth soon escalated to a sense of paranoia, anxiety, and self-doubt. I had been reading Salvia trip reports online the night before, which, combined with the unexpectedly strong effects of the weed, triggered intrusive thoughts and memories of Salvia. At once, everything started to seem less real and more cartoonish with a sinister, nightmarish twist of familiarity. I experienced a thought loop around a made-up word, which I can't even recall at the moment. Ganja or yanga, some nonsense. The word looped excessively in my mind like a hellish Ferris wheel at highway speeds. I could feel my heart rate escalating and felt a claustrophobic need to escape. After a while, I realized I was having a vivid flashback to my Salvia encounter. Before my experience on the diviner sage, my only encounter with a true drug had been with magic mushrooms a month or so prior to this. My friend, who I'll refer to as E, and I split 1/8 of an ounce of dried psilocybe mushrooms during a small vacation to the hill country, and I loved it. I also smoked marijuana daily and drank regularly. My personal interest in the study of ethnobotany and ethnopharmacology led me to discover Salvia Divinorum, and I was excited about the idea that with a few clicks and $20 to spare in my checking account, a totally legal psychedelic could be on my doorstep in a matter of days. So on Wednesday, June 14th, 2017, I ordered 1 gram of 20x salvia extract from a website online. After it had come in, I remember toying with the idea of smoking it alone in my room. I'm so thankful I never did this. The day for me to experience this substance came. I want to say July 1st for some reason, and I took the small dime baggie it came in, which explicitly warns not for human consumption, and went to E's house. For maximum consumption, I borrowed E's water pipe and filled the bowl to the brim with the dark gray, almost black ground leaf matter. I sat on the bed, which was on the floor, with the bong, and E said not to mind her, that she will just be checking her email. My heart raced in anticipation. I was dressed comfortably for the occasion, in my soft pajama shorts, a loose t-shirt, and socks. I lit the bowl and took the slowest, deepest breath my lungs would allow. The entire bowl glowed orange and sparked occasionally. There was a strange burnt parsley or charred herbal taste and aroma. Nearly all of the leaf matter was completely vaporized in this one breath. A humorous series on the YouTube channel called Let's Go to Class plays with the host Eric attempting to perform various mundane tasks after smoking salvia. He instructs to hold the smoke for around 20 seconds or until your vision starts to vibrate. I set the pipe down and gave E a thumbs up. After exhaling, little smoke was actually exhaled. I began to feel giggly and laugh impulsively, but this feeling was all too soon ripped out from under me. Reality itself was ripped out from under me. The next thing I remember is being catapulted through a tight and twisting tunnel. My mind was becoming a feedback loop of increasing speed and chaos. I remember falling down a spiral staircase that existed in a vacuum before time where each step was a different color. I thought I couldn't breathe, but somehow knew if I could survive into the last step down, I'd be able to breathe again. As I continued falling down the rainbow staircase towards the bottom, I began to merge and become a part of one of the steps. It felt two-dimensional. I kept saying, "I can't breathe," while E attempted to calm me. She said I shouted various things, such as, "Why are you doing this to me?" and "Help me." I stood up, swatted my arms around, and lunged toward E with my face inches from her. I vaguely recall seeing her face and being familiar. However, it was as if I floated towards her and couldn't come back to my body. At one point, I was trying to hide my face in her arm or lean on her for comfort. This was followed by a sudden recoiling, and I jerked away from her, as if betrayed. I once said, "I have to get out of here," and ran to the living room and kitchen before returning to the bedroom. Again, I vaguely recall seeing the living room and kitchen, but it was as if I was flying through a twisting tunnel. I had no memory of how I had gotten to that state or even basic autobiographical information. I had no recollection of taking a drug, what my name was, or even what I was. It was as if I had always been a part of that world. There was a sense that this was my eternity, and I had just become aware of it. I remember seeing the room with a cryptic sense of familiarity, but the memory was fleeting, soon returning to a whirlpool of colors. After recalling I was on a drug, I had to try to remember what the method of ingestion was. I remembered it was smoked, so I started breathing heavily, almost hyperventilating, to purge my lungs to try and end the trip. I remember thinking I shattered the bong and destroyed the room. I felt like I was flying and stuck in the ceiling, looking for the neighbors in the apartment above us to get help. Then I briefly recalled my parents and a need to get outside of the house. It felt like I had been soaking wet. I remember trying to tell E something, but to my surprise, it came out as gibberish. I covered my mouth in shock. I was compulsively running my hands through my hair while fidgeting and sweating. I felt like I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop moving. It felt so uncomfortable to be back in my body. I felt like a fish out of water. Slowly I began to recognize my surroundings, but that was the most unsettling part. It was as if I was seeing everything for the first time with no memory of what they were or what their functions were. This was followed by increasingly longer intervals of time recognizing my surroundings. I told E it was evil and to flush it. I started speaking rapidly and automatically. She took my pulse and said it was around 200 beats per minute. I asked for a glass of water, but when she left, a wave of terror ran over me and called for her to come back. I had a bad dizzy spell and for a while thought I might faint. But knowing there is no known lethal dose for salvia was reassuring, and I waited it out. I drank water and played a bit of Bala Kariv's Islamé on the keyboard to try and restore my mind. I laid on the couch and tried to relax. We went to a favorite local bar of ours, and I ordered a pecan porter. I couldn't stop talking or thinking about the experience. I still had passing feelings of it and felt as though I would return to that void. In hindsight, my dosage was ridiculous. To calculate my dosage, the following experiment was performed. The same pipe bowl that I first used salvia in was filled to the brim with leftover salvia. The measured contents were transferred to a scale and it weighed in at 0.2 grams, 200 milligrams. The website I got it from says their 20x concentration contains 60 milligrams per gram of high-quality salvia. Each gram is equivalent to 33 ounces of salvia leaves. The instructions for the 20x extract on the website says burn around 12.5 milligrams for strong effects. The The Encyclopedia of Psychoactive Plants states, the main active constituent is salvinorin A, which can induce extreme effects in dosages as small as 150 to 500 micrograms. Raschke, 2005, 464. Considering the website's figures on the concentration of 60 milligram salvinorin extract per gram of leaf matter and the estimated amount of 0.2 grams of leaf matter used, the result is roughly 12 milligrams, or 12,000 micrograms of salvinorin extract. This is 24 to 80 times greater than the psychoactive dose as prescribed by Raschke, or 16 times the amount for strong effects according to the website, are the equivalent of smoking 6.6 ounces, or 0.4 pounds, of the raw Salvia Divinorum leaf all at once. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't think about the experience or that I try to come to terms with it in some way. I've since researched it almost obsessively and either read or listen to countless accounts online. At times, even just listening to or reading other people's accounts on this drug causes me to feel the onset of panic and flashbacks. I think there is something very wrong with that drug.